Hello, everyone. I'm entitling this Google Hangout 3 biggest mistakes lawyers make online. And how I'd like to start the whole discussion is, do you own your digital property? There's a difference between registering a domain and who hosts that domain. You may have registered the domain denverlawyer.com, but if it's not hosted with your host account, you own the domain name, but you don't own the website. And let me show you how to check that out real quick. I'll share my screen with you. And I'll just pull up a generic attorney, someone with a Bill Smith attorney. I've already got it in my browser. I'll just hit that. I don't know anything about Bill Smith. Let's see if I can figure out where he's at. Let's just pick this guy. He's out of Boise, Idaho. Looks like he's got a website, but he's got a few things he needs to do. But anyway, let's look at the website itself. All you need to do is cut and paste this part of the website. Don't worry about the other part, just the part before the slash. Do Control-C, open up a new browser, go to whois.com, which is public information. Not Wells Fargo, sorry about that. Whois. And just paste the domain into that browser or into that search. This will bring up the information in it. There's the name of the domain. Here's the name server. That I think that's GoDaddy. I'm not sure. It's locked. The transfer is not prohibited. But if you go down a little bit further, you can see that he did register the domain. Well, he's registered the domain, and this all looks like it's his information. But who actually owns the content of the website is whoever owns the account on this particular server. And I don't know who it is. Would have to go into the information. I don't know if you could go onto his source on his website and figure it out. I could take a look real quick. Do a right click, view the source, go down a little further, see who built the website. These people built the website. So this is who built the website. If they're hosting the website, I don't know. But this is who's built his website, or who says they built the website. They get the links, I'm sure they did. And this is the people that probably own his website, or he's hosted it and they built it. But you got to make sure you know this information. It's very, very critical, because this is a business asset. And I'll show you here on this. This is a Mr. Taxman, what type of asset is my website? A website is like a calling card, and in many instances, an even more critical asset than office space. Okay, so what they're telling you is that your website is almost more critical than your office space. And how critical is your office space? So you want to make sure that you own the domain and you have control over the hosting. That doesn't mean someone can't build the website on another host and then FTP it up to the host that you've created, but you want to make sure you have control of it, because if you don't, you're building up an online asset that may not be benefiting you. So that's one of the first mistakes attorneys make, and I see this all the time. And for instance, and I'll show you another thing that's kind of interesting to me, is a lot of people put a lot of time into Facebook. Let me see. And I put this into my browser. Can I sell my Facebook business page? And I found this page, and if you go on this, it says right here, but that, and he talks a little bit about this, and this is a pretty good sized site. There's a lot of links to it, but that doesn't mean that the page owner can sell that page. That is and always has been specifically illegal. Facebook owns the page. You can't sell what you don't own, right? You can't rent, you can't sell advertising, and you can't transfer your page to another party. So here you can spend years and years and years building up a Facebook, and it's not anything you own. It's not digital property that you own. What you own is what you've registered. And as far as I know, the only social media that you actually own is your Google Plus page. Not your Google Plus profile, but your Google Plus page, because that's associated with your business location. So that can be transferred with the business. So that's why I always put so much stress on Google Plus, because that is an actual asset for the business, as opposed to having a Facebook or a MySpace or an Instagram. And I'm not real sure about all those, but I'm pretty sure they all follow the same rules as Facebook, which means that you don't own that page. So you're putting a lot of time and effort maybe into owning a page that you're not hosting. Maybe you own the domain, and maybe you don't even own the domain. I see a lot of attorneys that don't even own the domain. So they've been at this for years. They've been creating goodwill. They have it on their letterhead. They have it on their stationery. They have it all over the place. This is my domain, denverlawyer.com. And then they find out that they don't own it. Yellow Book owns it, or they found out that the company that set it up owns the domain and owns the hosting. And all they're doing is they just think they have a website. So that's probably the biggest mistake I see attorneys making. The second mistake I see attorneys making is they don't put. I mean, first of all, let me go back to the website a little bit. You want to create a good website, and that's the basis of your business. Like we just been talking about, this is an asset for your business. You can sell it. It goes along with your business. The other thing that is that it's probably expensed. I'm not real sure. There's a lot of unclearness about that, whether if it's an expensed or depreciated. You need to talk to your tax person about that. I think that the development of it can be expense, parts of it can be expense. So it's an expense to the business. So if the business is making money, why not invest in a good website? Why not invest in a website where the links all work? Why not invest in a website that is properly SEO'd? Why not invest in a website that has all the social media links? How many times do I go to a website, an attorney website, and I click on the G Plus icon, and it goes back to my account because that person hasn't set up a G Plus account. So invest in a good website. It's deductible, probably expensed, doesn't have to be depreciated. It gives the business more value, and it creates an online asset that, as time goes on, becomes more valuable. So make sure you invest in a good website. It's one of the most fundamental things you can do. And don't shorthand it. Don't go. I know of an attorney, a very prominent attorney, a very good attorney who has been practicing for a long time. In fact, in his area, he's probably one of the best attorneys in that area. He's a criminal defense attorney. And what he did is he went out and got a templated free website. And on the templated free website, he said, I've been in business 40 years. Come to me. Don't go to those other attorneys because they hired some whiz kid SEO guru to get them on the first page. I mean, I mean, here's a smart guy coming up with that kind of logic. Make sure you invest in a good website. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes I see attorneys make. And like I say, it's depreciable, and it's something that builds value over the time. The second mistake I see people make is they default to paid ads. So when they just cannot show up in the search, they will start doing ads. Let me see if I can pull one up. Let's just go to one I know really well, which is Personal Injury Attorney Chicago. And they're doing this. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if you can't earn one of these spots, because one of these spots is pretty tough to get right away because it takes a lot of time and energy. But the investment's worth it because you're not paying for it. So I think they default to this. And the other thing they do is they set up a Facebook, and Facebook's a lot easier to maneuver and operate than a Google Plus business page. And there's a reason behind that, because Google Plus business page is more foundational. Like I say, it travels with the business because of the location. It's a lot harder to, and the reason Google does that is because they don't want people spamming from it. They want to make sure the identities are match, and they want to make sure it's a much better way of displaying your business online through Google Plus profile than Facebook. Facebook's a lot easier. It's a lot quicker. And I like Facebook because, you can put ads on Facebook very inexpensively, and you can do business from Facebook. But I'm just saying, be careful, because you don't own that page. And probably the final thing I can say of the three is that develop a relationship with somebody that knows this information. it's almost impossible for an attorney to do everything that an attorney does, goes to court, deals with clients, has to make sure his office runs smoothly, and then sit down and learn Google Plus for Business, or sit down and learn, how to host an account, or how to build links to his website. I've known a lot of attorneys, and I've never known one of them that could do it all. I've known a few that know quite a bit about it, and that can maneuver quite a bit on the internet, but I have never seen anybody yet. So invest with somebody that knows what they're doing, and don't invest in one of these directory companies where you get a free listing and then they transition you into marketing. You're dealing with a salesperson and not a person that's actually doing the work or understands how this all gets displayed online. And so you keep paying every month and you don't really see results, and you don't know why, and you just don't know what else to do because you just know you have to be online. Find somebody that you can have a personal relationship with. And that's why I like Google Plus. Everybody gets enamored with the numbers. Oh, I've got so many followers. I got 500 followers, 10,000 followers, 15,000 followers. It's not about how many people follow you. It's about the relationship that you create with those people that do. I'd rather have 10 or 20 good people that I follow, that I exchange information, than 100,000 following me that I have no idea who they are, or have no connection with them. So it's not always about the numbers that are following you, and that's why I always stress Google Plus, because it's more of a relationship-based social media than it is just getting as many numbers as possible. So I hope that helped. I'm available. I worked with a few people. I try to keep a few number of people that I work with. I don't like to work with a lot of people for this very reason, because I want to make sure everything gets done completely right. And it takes a lot of time and effort, and it's not a volume business. If you think it's a volume business, and that's why I think a lot of these big companies hate this, because especially Google Plus, because Google Plus is done in a very personalized way, and they just can't not manipulate it by automating a lot of it, and doing things repeatedly the same way, and making big numbers and keeping the sales force on the phone. It can't do it. There's a lot of very specific things that need to be done, and they have to be done on a very personalized basis. So if that's the case, I'd be happy to talk to you. I'll put my information below, and in the meantime, I hope this helped. Please invest in yourself. Don't invest in anybody else, and make sure you own your own digital property. Of all people that should understand the ownership of an asset or property, or understand that, it's an attorney. You should understand this. In fact, I think a great practice of law would be a digital property law. I don't even know if that's a field or not, but I mean, gosh, I can see that thing taking off like crazy. So anyway, I hope it helped. If I can help out, let me know. My contact information is below.